How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Twigger coming at you with another high ELO commentary, and this time, I don't really have somebody that I really want to feature on this one because we have three members of the TSM crew. Team Solo Mid is here, Bjergsen in the mid lane playing that Gragas on the same team as TheOddOne playing Jungle Mundo, and then we also have Wildturtle playing Corki down in the bot lane with his Thresh support. So it's going to be an incredible game. I really want to see how this goes between TheOddOne, Bjergsen, and Wildturtle. Hopefully it'll be a good game, and for those of you who haven't watched my Wildturtle versus Bjergsen game that just recently happened, definitely go and check it out. But I'm not going to try to spoil it. Well, I actually am going to spoil it here, so go and check that video out if you haven't yet, because I'm just about to spoil what happened. So the fact that Wildturtle won that last game against Bjergsen, which was, it was an incredible game, and now maybe Bjergsen needs the help from TheOddOne in order to take down the incredible AD carry of Wildturtle. So we'll see if the combined power of Bjergsen and TheOddOne can do some work against Wildturtle, and maybe they can take down that champion ADC. So seeing Mundo in the jungle, with the new patch that's recently come in, people with decent clear times, such as Mundo when he puts on his W, he does pretty well in the jungle now. His gank potential is really good with his cleavers. He can duel people in the jungle quite well, and his ultimate really gives him that movement speed, and especially when you mix that with something like a Spirit Visage, or Visage, or however you want to call it, it really adds up to quite a bit of healing and quite a bit of speed, so you become a real tank and damage nuisance for your team. So definitely excited to see how TheOddOne plays that jungle Mundo, because I would love to see Mundo back in the professional scene. Bjergsen also playing a fairly common pick nowadays, the Gragas in the mid lane, going up against quite an unconventional pick, which is that Cho'Gath mid lane. We've seen it a few times in some of my commentaries, but never really in the professional scene. That does not come out very often, so going to be cool to see how those two face up. Cho'Gath with that kind of innate sustain that he gets from his passive, and then also being able to feast people, doing an incredible amount of damage from it. And now he does have his feast, so there's the ignite, but the feast did not go off. A great flash from Bjergsen keeps him alive for this one, and now TheOddOne's going to try to take down this Cho'Gath, but he's not going to be able to do enough damage here, so probably just going to let him go. And it looks like Cho'Gath's just going to stay in lane to farm up a little bit more. If that feast had landed, maybe that would have been a kill onto Bjergsen. But, quick reaction time that Bjergsen has, got away from that one very, very quickly. And the Cho'Gath just ends up wasting his ignite. So, pretty good trade for Bjergsen in general. He did lose his flash to it, but it looks like the Cho'Gath's flash has already been down for quite some time. Must have happened a little bit earlier in the game before we got here, but as we can see, the score is 0-0. Nothing big or major has happened yet, but we're already seeing about a 300 gold lead for the blue team. And it looks like Rengar having to pop his ultimate to get away from the Nidalee up in top lane. Nidalee also one of those picks that you don't see her in the top lane anymore. She's become a very, very prominent pick in the mid lane when you go those AP Nidalees and sending out those half health chunking spears, but it's been, well, since Season 2, I would say. The Season 2 World Finals was probably the last time I would say I really saw Nidalee up in the top lane as kind of an AD bruiser, which we can see from the Doran's shield, the cloth armor, and the Doran's blade that Nidalee's currently purchased. She's going for that more AD bruiser build, so going to be cool to see how she works with the changes in the patches, and whether she's actually going to have an impact on somebody who's so bursty like Rengar. But it looks like we have a fight going on in the mid lane here. Bjergsen doing a very good job, but already burst his ultimate. He's now going to have to try to run away from the Skarner. Skarner did have his ultimate available, but Cho'Gath was incredibly low after that little scuffle that he had with Bjergsen. But sadly, Gragas did not get the kill on Cho'Gath, did end up using his ignite and his ultimate, but luckily the ultimate is on a fairly low cooldown, so he's going to have that back before you know it. And it looks like TheOddOne is now meeting Skarner in the jungle. That's also something I haven't really talked about yet, is the idea of a Skarner jungle. We rarely see that nowadays. Skarner really needed some help with his kit and just kind of like what he added to a team. So let's see if a Skarner can do some decent work on here. But it looks like we have a little bit of an engagement down here in the bot lane. Thresh landing a good hook onto the Lucian. Looks like they're just going to try to turn and do some damage onto Taric, but those heals are very, very big. And it looks like that's just going to be a little bit of a poke battle, and we're going to kind of end it there. I don't believe that Yellow Petey is a American equivalent of Yellow Pete. I don't think that he has a Smurf or an American account like that. It could very well be, so I'm not going to contradict it if it is, but if any of you guys know if Yellow Petey is in fact Yellow Pete, then hey, I'd love to know, because that would be a great match, Yellow Pete versus Wildturtle. But for right now, we're seeing it's two of the pretty common picks nowadays for ADC, the Lucian versus the Corki. But it looks like we have a gank coming in from the Rengar all the way from top lane. Skarner is here as well in the mid, just looking at what's going to happen to Bjergsen here. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one. Body slams over into the Wraith Pit. Now it's just the Skarner. He gets some good damage on him. His ultimate is available for Bjergsen, and look at that, knocks Skarner away, isolates him. I don't know if he's going to have enough to kill him, but the OddOne is coming to try to kill the Cho'Gath. Ends up getting first blood on Cho'Gath and then falling to the Rengar. Really not a bad choice for the OddOne to get that one. But I do believe that the OddOne now just lost his red buff to the Rengar. So not the best thing in the world, but securing his team first blood and saving Bjergsen. Bjergsen did get away from that one. Thought he might have been able to pick up the Skarner, but great timing for the OddOne to be in that range just so we can come in for that counter gank. But there we go, Ryan Choi on this Rengar popping his ultimate. Look at the damage going down onto Bjergsen. There's no way he can get away from that one, especially with a Rengar with red buff. Just so much damage coming out after that ultimate. But Rengar's flash and his igniter are both down, so Nidalee's pushing up that top lane, doing what she should be doing, considering that Rengar was out of lane for so long. Got that top turret, first turret of the game, and she's just going to continue to push. So already sitting with about a 13 minion lead ahead of the Rengar. I don't know if she's going to be able to make that into anything really substantial here, but doing quite a bit of damage onto Rengar, but really not a ton. And with that blue buff and the red buff sitting on Rengar, he's going to be quite terrifying for the next couple minutes. But Nidalee is not really phased by this at all, just kind of staying in the lane, trying to get as much damage done onto the Rengar as she can, and also trying to produce a little bit of tower damage. But currently we're sitting at an over 1k gold lead in favor of the blue team, thanks to Nidalee and that tower push. And everybody's just going to kind of, after that little bit of action, going to go back to the farm game. Looks like we have a bit of a scuffle going down in the bot lane. A lot of damage going down on the Taric. A great Thresh hook is going to land, and an exhaust and a stun going on to Wildturtle. But it looks like Environmental on that Thresh is going to pick up the kill onto the Taric. The Lantern coming out to get Turtle out of there. And it looks like Yellow PD on that Lucian is going to survive for now. But Skarner is here, and his ultimate is nearly up. So if he can get in range, he might want to try to go for this one. But it looks like they're just going to back off. Lucian went a little bit too far back. So overall, a very exciting game going on. It looks like we have Bjergsen up in the top lane. He's just getting kind of melted by this Rengar, trying to get out of there. But he doesn't want to get in range of the Rengar jump, so he's going to try to play this very, very carefully so he doesn't get jumped on. But there we go. There's the kill onto Rengar. Bjergsen picking up an assist for that one, and Nidalee taking the kill. And it looks like the OddOne might go down here. He's losing a lot of health keeping that W on, but the ultimate coming out to try to keep him alive. The Ignite reduction on heal is having a big effect on the OddOne's ultimate right there. But he did manage to survive, and he's back up to about a quarter health, so going to come back into the lane, farm up a little bit, make sure that he doesn't waste those minions because Bjergsen is still pushing top lane. And it looks like with Nidalee and Gragas up in this top lane, they're going to get a lot of damage done onto this second tier turret. You know what, they very well might take this down. Rengar and Skarner are now both heading over to the top lane, but you know, there is a lot of damage being placed onto that. They might just try to engage right as they get here. But it looks like the turret was taken by Bjergsen and Nidalee, so there's the second turret of the game going to the blue team. And Wildturtle's doing his best to try to take down the turret here, but it's not going to do it. He's being a little bit hindered from this Taric. You know, Taric not doing a horrible job fighting against Wildturtle, but this, he might have gotten a little bit too much aggro there. Great stun onto Taric, though, holding Wildturtle down. And the last turret shot is, oh, it's not going to be enough. Holy crap. So I'm actually going to watch, you know, let's come back to this fight really quick, because I do actually just want to watch how Wildturtle got out of this one. I think it was an incredibly clutch Thresh shield that came out. So kills Taric, and now he's trying to run away from this one. The barrier coming out of Wildturtle, and then the culling, and luckily the Lantern is enough to get him out of there. But now we have this fight going on in the top lane. Skarner separated away from his partner Rengar, and Rengar trying to get his ultimate off to get away from this Nidalee. Don't know if it's going to work, but Bjergsen now being soloed by the Skarner. He's not actually going to kill Bjergsen. He's going to get taken down. Bjergsen picking up that kill, and then all of a sudden the feast coming out from the wild Cho'Gath appearing is going to kill Nidalee. So 2 for 1. Luckily, Nidalee also picked up the Rengar when he was running away, so all in all, pretty good trade for Bjergsen and the OddOne and that blue team. And the OddOne is now just staying in the mid lane, gonna try to pick up this turret, but luckily Cho'Gath is here, gonna get him away from that turret. And just looking down at the farm here, you know what, we've got some pretty even matches going here, except for really the jungle and the support. 82 to 86 in favor of Rengar for that top lane. Very, very even matchup there. 107 to 107 in the mid lane, dead even. 104 to 109 in favor of Wildturtle's Corki. and 17-4 for the supports, but the big difference is coming from those junglers. TheOddOne having so much time in that mid lane while Bjergsen was up top. He's now sitting at 95-60, so a 35 minion difference is going to add up to quite a bit of gold, considering that Skarner hasn't gotten an assist or a kill yet. OddOne is definitely sitting pretty in the jungle. Should have a pretty big impact on the game, but we can never discount how much damage a Cho'Gath can do when you get into that late game. When you start getting your AP up, it does scale onto your feast, and the true damage coming out of that ability is absolutely nuts. So he could very well take down TheOddOne's tankiness simply because of the true damage and just the amount of bursts coming out of him. So we'll just need to wait and see how this game plays out. We're currently 15 minutes into the game nearly, and we have a 2.3k gold lead in favor of the blue team, which is TheOddOne and Bjergsen. So excited to be casting both of them on the same team against their teammate Wildturtle. So I feel kind of bad for him that he's going up against his teammates, but you know what? He did very well against just Bjergsen on Riven in the last game that I commentated on them. So we'll just see how he does against two of his teammates. But once again, we're just kind of back into the farming phases. A dragon has not yet been taken, so it's just kind of been sitting there on the map. The Lucian using his E to get out of that one, but it looks like Rengar is timing this gank perfectly. It absolutely melts Taric. I don't even know how the hell Rengar got down there, but a perfectly timed gank just to pop that ult and get in there. Lucian trying to keep Rengar there for as long as he can, but Rengar's now finally going to go B. So free kill down in the bot lane, and it looks like with the pressure they're going to apply to Lucian, they're going to be able to take down this turret and finally get a turret kill of their own. So with that turret, it's bringing into a 1.5k gold lead for the blue team, and that's exactly what the purple team needs, just these couple little advantages that they can get, and hopefully try to snowball it into something. But it looks like TheOddOne's coming down for a gank onto Thresh. Thresh gonna have to pop his ultimate, TheOddOne popping his ultimate as well to try to get some speed, but it's not gonna end up being a kill. But Bjergsen now diving really deep under the enemy turret with the help of Nidalee, but Bjergsen gonna get feasted by the Cho'Gath, a great flash over the wall, and Nidalee's now gonna try to chase down the members of the purple team. I don't know if anything's gonna come from that one, but Nidalee is still in here chasing down the Skarner now. And Cho'Gath and Skarner are just doing a great job at making her run around and not be able to catch anybody. So it looks like people are just going to get away from that one. Only Bjergsen losing his life. It was a very, very far back dive underneath those turrets. But looks like Nidalee is going to try to chase down this Cho'Gath. She does have her tier 2 boots as well as Cho'Gath, but misses her E and now is going to not get knocked up. Great little pounce there from Nidalee. Going to take down this Cho'Gath. There we go. There's the final hit. So Cho'Gath going down, but it looks like we have a fight going down in the bot lane. The dive coming out. Mundo taking down Corki. So Wildturtle taking down Wildturtle there. But it looks like we have another fight going up in the top jungle. Nidalee taking a lot of damage. Ignite from Rengar going down onto her. She is not going to be taken out quite yet. Popping the heal for herself, and the heals coming out of Taric are a lot. But the Cougar form being popped and not going to be able to get away from that one. Skarner picking up the kill on Nidalee. And now Taric's going to have to run his ass out of there. I don't know why he's kind of just sticking around, but the kills now 6-8 in favor of the purple team, catching out that Nidalee in the jungle. Even with the Taric support, it was just not enough to keep her alive. But still a substantial gold lead for the blue team since they took that outer tier turret the outer tier turret in the bot lane. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. I'll get there. But some interesting kind of items coming out. Gragas, of course, kind of going for that Athene's Unholy Grail. Really wants that mana regen, wants to be able to spam out those spells. Get a little bit of magic resist and also the cooldown reduction from that item. It's overall just a great item on Gragas in general. But looks like we have Thresh getting caught out here a little bit. Lucian coming up as well. This is going to be a pretty easy kill onto a Bjergsen picking that one up. He's now sitting at 2-2-2. But luckily for Lucian getting up there in time that he got to pick up an assist on that one. And the blue team uses that as an opportunity to go and pick up the dragon. So extending that gold lead by quite a bit. Now 29.5k to 25.6k. The ultimate coming out of Gragas to try to do as much damage as he can. Takes people down about a quarter HP. So not really a whole lot of damage that he's looking for yet. The only damage items he really has are a couple Doran's rings and his Sork boots and the Athene. So really not the powerful Gragas that we're used to seeing. But Cho'Gath is opting to go for kind of a different path. He just seems to be going for less mana regeneration, but straight up damage. He does have that flask to kind of keep him topped up a bit. But he is going for a very early Rabadon's death cap, so he's going to be producing a lot of damage. But oh my god, here comes Rengar. The flash coming out of both of these players, but oh, you allowed him to get into the bush and he got to jump too. I thought Lucian might have been able to escape that one, but we have a pretty big team fight going down in this mid lane right now. I don't know if it's going to actually make anything. TheOddOne having to pop his ultimate to get out of this one, using the W to reduce the CC, but nothing's going to really come from this one. Bjergsen's ultimate is down for another couple of seconds. He might use that when it comes up, but the TheOddOne is now back at full health, and Wildturtle almost getting caught out there, but is going to end up escaping. He's now trying to do as much damage as he can to Bjergsen. Bjergsen's ultimate is almost up, and you know what? If Bjergsen gets a good hold onto the TheOddOne, onto Corki, he might be able to take him down. So we're now just waiting to see what's going to happen. Oh, what a great Thresh Lantern, allowing Rengar to escape from that one. Very, very nicely timed Thresh Lantern. The Ignite going down onto Bjergsen, but it looks like Rengar actually did get picked up in the end from the dive from Nidalee. She's now trying to run away from the Wildturtle's Corki. The ultimate from Thresh going out the box, trying to keep people alive, but the TheOddOne's going to take down Cho'Gath, and he's going to flash away from this one so that way he can survive. But now we have Lucian here, the AD carry, is going to try his best to do as much damage as he can, maybe pick up a couple more kills. Nidalee throwing in a spear over at Wildturtle. He is going to be able to pick that one up, but Skarner's ultimate is going to drag Nidalee right into the turret range, and that's going to be a kill for the Skarner. But it looks like now Lucian really wants to try to take down Thresh, and he's just barely going to survive that one. I can't believe Thresh got away. But that is not a kill onto the Thresh Prince right there. I know that Edward is the Thresh Prince, but I'm just going to say it anyway. So Thresh escaping that one, and it looks like they're going to use this opportunity to take down 2 turrets in the mid lane. So a big shift in gold lead there. Well, not actually a shift. It didn't change hands, but you know what? A big gold lead now being secured for this blue team. 7k gold, nearly 6.5k if you want to be exact, but big difference now. And now the TheOddOne's using this opportunity to take away that red buff. Probably it was going to go to the Wildturtle, so these guys are sitting very pretty now with the advantages that they've taken. Bjergsen really didn't get a lot of kills there. He just kind of got a couple of assists, but Nidalee now sitting at 5, 3, and 1 is going to have a pretty big impact on this game. And as you can see from the build, I'm very excited to see what Nidalee is going to be building, because we don't really see this Bruiser Nidalee anymore. But look like she's opting for quite a bit of health and some armor, and now going for that the gauntlets. What the hell are they called? The Frost gauntlets. Iceborne gauntlets. There we go. There we go. There we go. Have not seen that item in a little while, actually. It was a very big item previously on Ezreal when you would build in blue Ezreal, but now they've kind of fallen a bit to the wayside. They definitely don't get used as much as they used to, but it appears that on this kind of tanky Bruiser AD Nidalee, they seem to be doing the job. So it looks like the TheOddOne coming, picking off Wildturtle here. Wildturtle's going to have to use that Valkyrie, but wow, a lot of damage coming out of the TheOddOne, even hitting that briefcase on him. The ultimate coming down from Skarner onto Bjergsen, going to hold him down, and it looks like the flash is going to be used right away, but a great ultimate from Bjergsen, actually holding people off for a little bit. But the Rengar coming in now, going to do a lot of damage to him. Tarek's being taken down as well. He's going to try to split off to save Bjergsen, but it's not going to be enough. The Rengar is going to take down that one, while Cho'Gath picks up the Tarek. And now the TheOddOne trying to get in on this one, just wanted to know where the party was and why he wasn't invited. But a lot of damage coming out onto the Wildturtle from the TheOddOne's briefcases, doing a ton of damage. So they do have to be wary of that. You know, even with that huge advantage that the blue team has right now in terms of gold and items, the purple team is getting these nice little picks off and killing the people that they really need to, and giving the people the kills that they need. Rengar especially, now sitting at 5, 3, and 2. He is doing a ton of damage right now. He's going to be able to pop somebody very, very quickly. And when you have somebody squishy like Lucian, and you know what, even Gragas for that matter, he is not a very tanky champion if you don't build something like the Rod of Ages on him. He'll have a little bit of magic resist from Athene's and Holy Grail, but then he's going to build pretty much strict damage. So if Rengar can come and pop his entire ultimate, use his ultimate and pop everything onto Bjergsen or onto Lucian, he's probably going to be able to take them down pretty darn quickly without much of a response. So just taking a look at the farm now that we're about 23 minutes into this game, Nidalee has started to take a bit of a lead against this Rengar, 169 CS to 129, so a pretty big difference up in that top lane, definitely helping with her gold. The TheOddOne still having like a 30, nearly 40 CS advantage over top of this Skarner, but Skarner now picking up a couple assists and a couple of kills, so definitely helping his gold situation. 193 to 176 in favor of Bjergsen. He's doing a great job farming, you know, he pretty much always does, and it's still quite even in this the bot lane with the ADCs, 201 to 186, so a bit of an advantage being given to Wildturtle's Corki, but still a fairly even matchup going on right now. So it looks like the blue team is opting to try to push this top lane since they already are on the inhibitor turret. Bjergsen getting hooked by the Thresh, but it doesn't look like they're actually going to engage onto this one. Looks like the thing about the blue team right now is their amount of poke is quite incredible. The barrels coming out of Gragas, the spears coming out of Nidalee, even though they're not AP spears, they're not going to be doing nearly as much damage as you would like. But the briefcases also with Mundo, they're going to be doing a lot of damage one way or another if they just sit there and continue to get poked, because right now the purple team doesn't really have any form of poke. They're really more of an engaged team. You get a hook off, then you get the Cho'Gath rupture, then you get the Skarner pull in, and while Corki is just annihilating you with damage, same with Rengar. But looks like Skarner wants to try to make something happen here. See, as you can see with the AD Bruiser Nidalee, that spear really did nothing to somebody like a Skarner. But there we go, the flash engage, Bjergsen being pulled in by the Skarner. He does manage to get his ultimate off and hits the Wildturtle, so doing a lot of damage, but a greatly timed box. But look at that, the purple team is really holding up here. It looks like they're going to have to try to retreat from this one. They haven't taken anybody down yet. Finally, the Thresh heads are going down, and a great culling while he's running away. Everybody is quite low, but the Rengar is going to try to come in and take down this Lucian. The dash coming in, and there's the ace, so Rengar being able to jump from that brush, going to be able to pick off that Lucian. And now it looks like most of the people from the purple team are going to try to go maybe buy some items and then try to rush something. But wow, I can't believe how well they did on that fight. The flash engage from Skarner using that pull to grab Bjergsen. Even though he did get his ultimate off, he could not escape that one. They didn't get nearly as much damage out of Bjergsen as they wanted to. So overall, great fight there. The Rengar picking up a couple kills. He's now sitting at 8-3 and 4. The only problem with what's going on is that Corki is not really picking up a whole lot of kills here. He's just got a whole bunch of assists. So I'm sure they would like to see more of these kills go on to somebody like Wildturtle, simply because Corki is going to be kind of that really late game damage where he's going to be able to take down people like TheOddOne and the tankier Nidalee. But okay, it's okay, Nidalee. We didn't see that. Nothing happened. We do have the purple team going down for this dragon. Going to try to even out the gold lead, a little bit, but the TheOddOne is coming in here. He does have smite available, so this could be a very close little smite war here. But the Cho'Gath is just going to use his feast alongside the Skarner. Skarner didn't even use the smite actually, but the Wildturtle getting briefcase here. He is going to be slow, but he is just going to be able to Valkyrie over that wall, leaving Skarner a little bit in a bit of a pickle here. The Taric ultimate coming down, and the yellow PD on Lucian is just going to do enough damage to take down the Skarner. And now it looks like Bjergsen getting a great ultimate off, knocking Cho'Gath back. Oh my god, the burst damage. Holy god, that was a lot of damage. On somebody tankier like Cho'Gath, that was a lot of damage to see just happen very, very quickly. So Bjergsen making a very, very good move coming in at that point, using a great ultimate to knock Cho'Gath back, do a little bit more damage to Wildturtle, so he couldn't stay there. But look at the damage coming down from Rengar onto the Lucian. But is it going to be enough? It will be enough with the Ignite to pick off the Lucian. But, you know, double shutdown, one going to Rengar, one going to Lucian. Really not the best trade, because a lot more assists actually went to the blue team, and they also managed to pick up their turret. So we do understand that Rengar has that kind of burst, but should he always use it? I don't really know. So not exactly the best move there, but does manage to pick up another kill and some shutdown gold, so maybe he'll just look to kind of burst people down like that. But they're now pushing down this mid lane. They did take that second tier turret on the bottom side, and it looks like Skarner's going to try to use his ultimate onto Bjergsen, but Bjergsen flashes away, so he's going to get out of that one. A great knock up onto the Taric, and a great grab onto Nidalee, but Nidalee's just probably going to pop her Cougar for him and try to get away from this one. Looks like Taric is going to be taken down from the Corki, and the Ignite going down onto Corki as well. A couple shields coming out, but there's a great flash dodging the ultimate from Bjergsen. And Wildturtle's actually going to survive on that one while Nidalee gets taken down. Great little play from Wildturtle. That ultimate definitely would have killed him with some fantastic reaction time. But now Wildturtle's in a little bit of a pickle trying to get away from this one. The ultimate from the Ignite from Bjergsen going off and killing that one. And it looks like Thresh is going to hook the TheOddOne, trying to hold him in place for a little bit. But, you know, with Lucian coming into this one as well, I don't really think that the purple team can fight this one. The TheOddOne taking as much heat as he can, but it's not going to be enough to stop Rengar from taking down Bjergsen's Gragas. But it looks like the Lucian is going to get hooked here. Cheeseburger. Oh my God, Rengar. So he just jumped out of buttfuck nowhere and just annihilated some people. So Lucian did manage to pick up the Skarner, but Rengar is doing so much damage, sitting at 12, 4, and 4 right now. Already has that Bone Tooth necklace, so that's going to be stacking up pretty damn quick, already at 12 stacks. So we're now seeing quite a kill lead develop for this purple team, 23-16. And there's only like a 1.5k gold lead in favor of the blue team. So this is really anybody's game right here. One turret would even out the gold for the purple team, and it's currently 6 turrets to 1, so there is definitely money and global gold to be had. The purple team just needs to be able to push those turrets, and you know, it's one of those things is that the turret gold really does add up, and now we're seeing it here. The blue team is losing the team fights, but they've taken so many turrets that they're really kind of keeping up in the items, keeping up in the gold. But man, I am very, very surprised at how well the purple team has been able to do these team fights. They're doing an incredible job, and Cho'Gath really needs to start getting his feast stacks up, because the next team fight, they're going to need Cho'Gath to be as big as he possibly can, because if you look at his items, he's got the Morellas, he's got the Rabadon's Death Cap, and he's got another Needless Hero. Oh my god! Oh my god! I will talk about that later, because there's currently a fight going on in the top jungle here. The feast from the Cho'Gath wasn't going to be enough, but it is now finally with the Flash going to be able to pick that one up. And it looks like the Mundo went down as well. Rengar doing absolute work against this team. I cannot believe how quickly Bjergsen got destroyed. He didn't even get his ultimate off. Rengar just jumped in and absolutely surprise sexed him in the butt. Oh my god, so it's only Taric alive right now, and he's just kind of running down. He's not going to be able to defend his turrets here. And they're going to have 13 seconds until Bjergsen is up. They should be able to push this, but it looks like they're actually going to go for the Baron here. There are blue wards that they're going to be walking through, so the blue team is going to be aware that this is happening. Bjergsen might very well buy some home guard boots, but no, he doesn't have the money to buy home guard boots, so he's just going to try running up there as quickly as he can. But with the Cho'Gath having his feast and Skarner having his smite, I really don't think that there's anything that the blue team can do to stop this Baron right now. Yep, it doesn't look like anything's going to happen here. It's going to be a free Baron for this purple team, and just like that, exactly what I was talking about. One great team fight, one objective, and now all of a sudden the blue team is leading by 4K. And look at the damage coming down onto Taric as well. The rocket's going, hopefully going to kill him. And the damage coming down out of Rengar as well. Oh my god, takes Bjergsen down to nearly half HP. I don't know if Bjergsen's going to be able to survive this one. Doesn't even use his ultimate to try to get Rengar away from. Kind of an interesting play on Bjergsen's part. But double kill solo for the Rengar, picking up Lucian and Bjergsen. And those are two of the biggest damage dealers on the blue team. And Rengar can just solo them. It's pretty damn impressive to watch. He's just so freaking fed right now. 16, 4, and 5. You really do not see those kind of kill scores in this top tier like this top ELO. It doesn't really happen, and especially considering the people you're playing with. But the odd one, oh my god, getting feasted and absolutely destroyed from that Skarner pull. And wow, I don't think that the blue team can really respond to this right now. This Baroned up purple team is doing such a great job, and they've now sent Rengar down into the bot lane to split push, because fact of the matter is, he just, well, took 2v1 and won, so they're going to have to at least send 2 people down and really catch him out in order to stop his split pushing. So it's a great idea when you are that fed. And now we see him coming in onto Bjergsen, already doing oh my god, it's just not even funny anymore, doing so much damage. But the culling coming out, doing a lot of damage onto the Rengar, but I really don't think Lucian is going to want to chase this one now that Rengar is in the brush, because a jump could definitely happen. Here we go. Oh my god, it's so hard to watch. It just blows people up. That's just so much freaking damage. So he's sitting at 18, 4, and 5 right now. How do you deal with a Rengar like that, where pretty much no matter what, one of your main damage dealers is going to be taken down, like very, very quickly? So looks like Corki is now down here trying to take down the Taric. I don't know if he's actually gonna be able to take this one out. The heal coming out of the Nidalee and the Taric is gonna keep him alive for a little bit longer. The flash was available for Wildturtle, but it doesn't look like he's gonna want to try to use it here. I don't know if he's gonna. Oh, there's the flash, a great flash away from the pounce, and even baiting out the Nidalee flash to try to get that last auto attack on it, but it was not enough. Great reaction time from Wildturtle, picking up that kill and keeping his own life. And now we can see Thresh doing the split push. Definitely a smart person to send to the bot lane by themselves. But here comes Cho'Gath. The Ignite going down onto Taric. I don't know. They are going to actually grab Taric and bring him back, but don't know if that was the best use of the Skarner ultimate. Might wanted to grab somebody a little bit more hefty. But looks like the Rengar was trying to pick off the odd one up top before he went B, but was not going to be the case. He even used his ultimate to try to get up there in time, but did not catch him. The odd one is now safely back in base. The culling now coming out, but Thresh and Skarner are going to get in the way of that one to make sure that Wildturtle doesn't take a whole lot of damage. The Rupture coming down to try to pick off the Lucian, but he's going to do a flash out of that one and not get knocked up. And it looks like there's a pretty big amount of team fighting going on in this bot lane, and Rengar is just kind of walking down now. The odd one taking a little bit of heat going down, and the feast is still available for the Cho'Gath, so there is a huge amount of damage that is waiting to be unlocked there. But looks like that was just kind of a stalemate. Oh my god, the damage coming out of the Wildturtle, picking off that Lucian. And that's going to be GG, the surrender vote coming out from the blue team. Unfreaking believable game. So once again, folks, we have Wildturtle facing off against, now it's 2 members of his team, Bjergsen and TheOddOne, and he manages to come out on top on that one, doing a great job. But, you know, I think Rengar's back is probably pretty damn sore after that game because he was just dominating the enemy team. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. Some pretty epic plays. I thought it was fantastic. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next commentary.